All right, hello. Welcome to the Project Gunslinger, the showmatch series between the tiebreakers and the Chinese network community. We have in the commentary booth right now just me, Aksu, and Ruben. You want to introduce yourself?
So I'm Ruben. I'm part of the tiebreakers as well. I will be joining the commentary here today.
Yeah, for the fully bias casting where we have two tiebreakers on this side, and then you can have Chinese commentary to be extremely biased on that side as well. And also we have Wenjong, at least to talk about a bit about the Chinese network community, because it's really separate right now. So Wenjong kind of has more information about the scene there.
Hey everyone, name's John. Been playing Netrunner for almost 2 years now. Funnily as Axel was saying, I was actually born and raised Shanghai, China, but then I learned Netrunner oddly from Canada, so I do consider myself part of the Toronto beta. Then I just very recently moved back to US for work, so I'm a bit going tournaments wherever I can. Then out of all chances, I happen to plugged into the Chinese Netrunner scene, which is much larger than I initially thought it was, and it was actually I went in very passionate. I think this is a great opportunity just to showcase some of the work they're doing in terms of organizing, but also just to reach to the world on how they're playing.
Yeah, 100%. It's I think they had 60 people in their Asian League right now, and 40 people in their last mega cities, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So we'll get to that, but Netrunner actually does exist in China since 2012 when FB first launched it. Then very quickly, because of their distributor, didn't like the game enough to continue, in terms of translation and distribution. The Netrunner scene officially died because of distributor 2014. So their magnum opus went before the magnum opus. And then that distributor vanishing really hurts how much engagement there is up until NSG gradually re-sparked the fire, and then with the release Elevation and creating G cards, this greatly has actually boosted engagement because now we have a lot more control in terms of cards are available. We introduce new players since Elevation release earlier this year. There are new social media groups and accounts being springed up. Their official WeChat chat has 300 people pretty actively involved at all times. Their mega city was 40-ish people. And then there are an async league, as we're saying, are 60 plus people. So yeah, they're very organized. A lot of it actually thanks to the full NSG card. And then OTOs. We're already on this page.
Yeah, I just jumped over.
Nice. So I won't do a full dramatic readings of the page, but one last thing I wanted to shout out. Just having access to an online platform is actually critical to just engage your casual players as well. Just as what JNet was doing for myself included on who are remote from physical meta. JNet really helped. But then unfortunately, because of the Great Firewall, Chinese player does not have regular access to JNet, your regular Jinkeki.net online platform. Actually, thanks to G, not the first one who actually invented how to make a clone, but dramatically simplifies how clone actually can be set up. So the Chinese community actually followed that XDG's instruction on clone setup, the JNet clone for their own community on their own server. So your normal average player to get over firewall.
Just a quick question is what is actually the thing? Why can people not access JNet? Is it because only certain specific things are allowed, and then this is just not, or basically what is the difference between the sneaked or beta.net and Shinteki.net, that one is possible by default or the other not?
It is like the actual domain where it's hosted and the actual URL. Like the Great Firewall will figure out sites and
Oh,
data.
if the server is hosted in China, then it's allowed, and if it's not, then it's not. Is that it, or?
Not exclusively on geography. It's also like content based. But in general, wherever there's a website that allows speech, which funnily like the JNet front page chat screen would be considered like
Okay, so
content
this
uncontrolled, right?
so
It would
Slinger
generally
data
restrict it.
doesn't have the chat in the chat part, kind of.
It has like the control, like the government was seeking, and nobody was chatting on the front page.
Okay,
Makes sense.
It is a
because
funny system, but it is a whitelist system too.
yeah, because I was like wondering like why do they even know about JNet, like, or like it seems like something that no one would really know about, so why would it even be blocked in the first place? But okay.
Yeah, like it's not entirely a transparent system. You can't really appeal it, right? Like for example, like they have to NRDB, which technically has uncontent controlled stuff, but I don't think it's most people's interest to go on. Hey, can we access JNet? But anyway, the local JNet clone are set up thanks to XDG, and then like that's actually where we're playing today. So thanks to all the tiebreakers who went over to the Chinese JNet clone, created accounts, and then you will see, depending on how people are playing, like there are like default Chinese menus, there are new functions developed for the local Chinese JNet clone that are not on like regular JNet. It's fun. Also, the local TOs has been like new intro pages to like near us hub that we have everything in China to all the websites. Done like new player welcoming, pretty fun. So like we've onboarded, I would say dozens, if not hundreds, of new players. And then like so if you can give me like 3 more minutes, let's go to the next page. I just want to showcase this. So one thing that has been very helpful for like Chinese nurses, like how to start and encourage more people to play physical cards as well, similar to like the POC, the global community has run together. Chinese players organize their own together equipment net, which can really thanks to your main TO not have an English name. Like he was organizing, commissioning new arts for this DeepNet package, and then every purchase, DeepNet purchase, contributed into a pool, 1-to-1 from personally, and then was sponsored for the reimbursements of any because people from other. So like throughout the year was strict was like CTKs. The Chinese netrunner is like way more mobile than I understand. For example, New Hampshire US players, like New York events, 3-hour drive. But then the Chinese netrunner, like a random CTK with people who would have to other cities to play. And then that's largely because again, like half of those expenses can be reimbursed. And a lot of it thanks to this DeepNet project. I've been giving out the DeepNet outs here, like whenever in random events in Worlds, and I think I'm VC yesterday, like giving out these pretty sick outs as well. So yeah, like it was very intentionally organized, but having access to this funding a lot as well. If you have seen these outs, if you want to like access to these outs, I think mostly North America, like you can contact me. There are like ways to get them, but this is just a good showcase on they've been very intentionally trying to like encourage physical play.
It's a cool initiative. Like in the same way that like the run together thing is also very nice.
Okay, do you want to fast go through the players? I think they are about to start the match. Do you have any information on the players? Or?
Wait, just a sec. Rohit is saying that Wenjong is cutting in and out a bit. I think maybe if you were also watching the stream, you can lower the quality and see if that helps.
No, I think the issue is Discord.
It's Discord, okay.
Yeah, I cannot really do anything about that.
Is it with everyone, Rohit, or
no?
only...
Just Wenjong.
Oh,
but
okay.
why is it specifically Wenjong?
I don't know.
Like
Connection?
I'm on hotel Wi-Fi. Yeah, like
yeah. But Wenjong, are you also watching the stream?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just unluck. It's understandable. We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, let's continue. So you want to talk about the players, Wenjong,
or do you have any information on the players?
So I would say like they are like selected to be one of the like better and top players from their past performance. We have the Mega City champion in here. We have like FFG players since 2012 in here. We have some of the loudest voice. I will not spoil who. There are voices has been like critical on like quote unquote the foreign scene of Netrunner. But I will say like one of them are insistent on like Leo being the best horse like day 2 since elevation. Until like it was Laura who actually finally almost win a Mega City. With Leo and say like okay they finally caught up with Leo. Oh yeah, like there are some fun dramas that was being commented on a Chinese channel too. Oh, by the way, like the hosting was currently being live streamed and commented on like Bilibili, the Chinese equivalent of YouTube as well. There's a watch party going in the physical space as well. So yeah, the community was pretty hyped, both in terms of hey, let's see how this matchup actually works, but also hey, like are these like very loud voices actually being like publicly executed? So no, like it communities are very, very happy with like this.
So could we so would you mind maybe, or can you read the Chinese names? Because like player 1, we we will not be able to kind of say the name, or like we don't have an idea of how to say the name.
Oh,
we could
I see.
call him like the captain or something. But
the Chinese pronunciation would be Wan Wu Tian, but like I think you can try to call him General Wan.
General Wan.
Okay.
Right. So the funny part is like the Chinese character, the word general, like the army general, like are the exact same word as like some which generally describes the vibe of this person. Like he was the team captain as well. He had playing since day, and then he's like either was very good at the game and he's like very handsome. So like people has been calling him the general quite a while now. He was just like naturally fitting into the captain's space. So general.
We call him the general or General One. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And everybody, I think people here know the tiebreaker lineup. We have these people playing. Nobody cares. And I will just quickly go over the format that we decided to run. So it's going to be, I guess some of these points have like switched, but we like got 6 players per team, and both teams like picked the players and sent them to Wenjong, and picked the IDs as well. And after that, we paired them up by like us going first, by random chance, and then like us putting up a player, and then the Chinese community like matching them up and putting up a player themselves, and we like that way matched people up. And I think we kind of had like a honor rule about like not taking too hard against the other IDs.
I thought they were supposed to lock their decks in beforehand.
Yeah, the decks were locked. No, the lists were not locked, but the IDs were locked.
Yeah, it's actually part of the fun. So
Yeah.
like you
And-
can see the ID and then tweak your list accordingly. But I can.
And then we will just get 2 double-sided Swiss games per like stream, and we will count the matches up. And by the end, the team with more points wins. If we're tied, the captains I think go up and play like a match until somebody wins 2 points in a row, which I learned like after we like agreed on stuff. So I'm like heavily hoping I don't have to play in this. And
Sorry. So if someone wins 2 games on a row, then what happens?
no, like
Again,
if we're tied at the end, so like both teams have won 6, the captains will play like a final death kind of thing, where the winner is the person who like team that wins 2 in a row.
Okay.
And then technically, if that happens, we're asking the captains to not use IDs that's already been
Yeah.
like Kyobu versus Kopan, like eventually.
Umpire versus Nova.
And here we have the matchups. I think today we will see Have Fun against Yusei first, and then Prof Wako against Suez, I think. And we will see those matchups. And with that, I think people in the commentary are also happy to like start watching the game actually.
Great. We'll jump out at this point. Go watch the watch party. Nope.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy the games.
So here we have the giant client of the Chinese scene. Looks pretty similar to the one we have in like just normal. But we are missing the chat page, which I legit think could be cut out of normal JNet and the site would be better.
Yeah, it's interesting that's. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it afterwards, but like, it wouldn't come up with me that that's the reason why the site is blocked.
Yeah, I mean,
because I was so confused, like what's even going on in JNet that it would be blocked. But I guess that makes sense that like if they want to control communication, that.
And I think the first match we have is Have Fun playing Jinteki Restoring Humanity. Has been on a like Jinteki Glacier binge kinda. And definitely, yeah, I mean it's one of the better decks.
Is Alex typing Chinese or what is
I think so. Like I don't have a translation tool available. I think we're going with like Google Translate.
And Suez is just typing. So it's Tau versus Restoring Humanity. What do you think the Tau will be like? Do you think it will be like a girls type deck with Eru and drones and Pretty Mary?
Yeah, it's either that or like we have seen this like idea with like playing Matryoshkas and diversion funds and everything like that. Which could be it, but I have basically zero idea. I just know.
So this is Yusei, yeah, okay. Yusei versus Alex.
Yeah.
Restoring Humanity? Do you? I don't actually know.
I feel like it's going to be the most reg thing ever. Also, I have to change my settings.
I think Alex told me. I think he was playing something more similar, like a Sisyphus list.
Oh no. Do I have to root for the Chinese community?
Why?
I don't want silvers to win. That's my reason. Card is kind of cringe.
Did Deep Deep do the one that have Sisyphus in it?
It did.
Looks like the game will be starting.
Oh, well,
in
yeah, starting
just-
right now. Hanservi Forest, pretty sick.
So you say takes a mulligan, and Alex keeps their hand, so or have her fun.
Also, installing on remote, I think that's probably like a spin doctor that we just put on the table. And
Yeah, likely a spin doctor.
yeah, what do you think about icing R&D Forest? Do you think Tao is going to like tunnel dig centrals? Or like R&D Forest or?
I think you're just kind of, if you're not sure what Shaper is doing, if you want to prevent illumination or just like conduit and or cataloger, I think it could make sense. The Shaper could also be on transfer, so when Nuka comes down, that gets clicked. Coalescence and Hermes. Hermes kind of indicates that it is more a girls type build,
Yeah, kind of reg-ish.
which means you kind of want to try. I'm surprised by no archives run. I think in this situation, as a runner, you really want to like force the corp to basically keep discarding.
Yeah, keep discarding or actually put ice there. Because if you let Jindaki just kind of get that one credit a turn, it really adds up in the end game.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
So-
Alex just pushing on the remote feels like that's just a like Managram or something.
I think that's probably Charlotte and La Costa.
Oh, totally could be.
It could also be an upgrade plus humanoid resources, but I don't think Alex is on humanoid resources.
Yeah, depends. Yeah, La
think if
Costa
you-
and just
I think
La
if you go
Costa.
this, I think if you go this fast, it is probably La Costa and Charlotte.
I mean, it
So you're
does look
being-
like I'd agenda there with not being rest.
Yes.
So we're just pushing hella hard.
Discarding second Hermes. So La Costa gets rest. Oh, is it just an agenda?
It does look like it, and we just have an ice there. Hard to know what like end of the run ice we have that actually stops the run. Could also be just like you install like Managram and La Costa. Oh, you wouldn't raise it at that point, never mind.
So the extra upgrade is then probably either Managarm or Void. It could also be, I guess, a sign of kind of a bluff where you start advancing an upgrade to bait Pinhole. Sorry. No, it would be the other way around, I guess.
Yeah, I think technically.
The bait would be that this is an upgrade. No, that wouldn't make sense.
I think the most
I think-
recent one has to be an upgrade. Like, I think it's an early agenda push that we start like slow cooking the remote and opponent hope the opponent cannot get in there.
No, what I mean with the bait is like if the thing that is advanced right now is an upgrade and then the next thing is actually an agenda, then they would pinhole the non-advanced thing when it is actually the agenda.
Oh, that's pretty smart if we are going that deep.
But the thing is, like the downside is like you don't have that much money, so I don't think in this position you want to do it. I think as a runner you kind of want to you are low on money yourself as well.
Yeah, runner going down to one credit last turn. We did install Simul Chip, install Revolver, and just check archives. Going down to one credit is kind of scary.
I mean, you have the Simul Chip Coalescence as a backup plan. If the runner finds Creative Commission at the end of the turn, by the end of the turn, then they're also quite happy because I guess the thing is if the thing that is advanced right now is actually an agenda and is a Sisyphus, then they're not too happy. Looks like the runner is setting up a bit more, installing a drone.
And Alex just clicking for credits. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you wanna. If Alex had like useful ice to put somewhere, I'm guessing it would go somewhere. But if just clicking for credits kind of.
If you don't think your opponent is getting in though, like I think if this is a Sisyphus Protocol Conservator, you can just like wait, and next turn you don't have to like be afraid of the Hermes bounce.
Yeah, definitely. I think as runner you probably at least check HQ once. I think Alex is kind of wants money and cards for Void. So even if he had like Econ, I don't think he would play it in that situation. I don't know if the runner is on pinhole.
Advanced Why isn't score a Fuji out of there? Like as the first agenda, hitting an Euler and Light Fire.
That's not what you want to score initially. Like that's kind of the worst agenda to score.
Yeah, I mean hitting Light the Fire out of the hand seems extremely key in this matchup. That would have been so nasty otherwise.
Yeah. I'm surprised the runner didn't install it. I guess he just wasn't expecting.
Yeah, like nobody expects that to be a Fuji right there. And you don't want to pre-install it to Light the Fire to let your opponent know. And yeah, just drawing up again. Click for a draw, install Nuka, and get the draw.
Yeah, runner is really struggling to find like good econ, like a good econ start.
Yeah, we have like stuff on the table if we find something to go after like R&D with. This Devadatta drone and Hermes can like start bouncing the table and actually ruin this entire Alex's setup.
I think, yeah, like you don't actually need, like you can definitely just run the ice from Restoring Humanity and just force the corp to rest things and start clicking stuff.
Yeah, especially with Revolver Online. The issue is we don't have the 2 credits. I guess we have discarded the Gauss also, so we have access to like a lot of the other breaker options with the Simul chip on the table.
But if there is a Boto, you can just let it fire. That's the thing, like a lot of the eyes you can just let fire and then force the corp to start clicking for credits again.
Yeah, 100%. Like you just want to tax the Genetic Glacier credits, especially when they haven't been able to like install the Charlotte or the Human Resources or anything like that to actually get the credits up. Like I think Alex's only credit econ card this game has been like the one copy of one Hanse, yeah.
And then the RH drip.
Oh, and runner econ coming in, hitting spec work on the Coalescence, Sure Gamble Creative Commissioner. That's up like 12 credits in a turn. And now we are setting up to be able to challenge the board.
Yeah, if this was like any other, okay, yeah. But if this was like either Anarch or Criminal, like HQ would have been run so many times, like it would be difficult to keep a Charlotte in there if there was a Fuji, while the Fuji was still ticking up.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's still no real reason to ice HQ. I don't know if we will see one. Like there's already 11. No. Yeah, I think 11 influence that we saw already.
Yeah, Light the Fire for 2 Hermeses for 8, and Revolver for 11. So it probably means there cannot be a...
So the last thing is probably Eru, and...
Yeah, could be that we see in these typical lists. Arrow is kind of good. I think people found out at Worlds, like, yeah, just multi-accessing R&D sometimes wins games. Setting up pinhole, threatening HQ.
So that's probably the last influence.
Oh, and Hits the Void that just was installed. I don't think we can know which one of the cards it actually was. So
I mean, it's probably the one that was installed while the Fuji was in.
yeah, I would assume so. Second Simul chip and overclocking in. There's a card with one advancement on the table, and Alex might be kicking themselves by installing the second upgrade on R&D instead of server 2. Because if this is an agenda that gets stolen, the like poor board state might blow up, kinda. Another question for the fucking Chinese in chat. And I think a lot of this comes down to actually how hard these eyes are on to res on server 2. Like, is it a Boto into a second Boto? Or like a Athene or something expensive? Because if you start resing those, and your opponent can just glide past them, starts actually attacking R&D after, you might be in a really tough position. There's a microweb.
Yeah, so I think this is more like the Sisyphus Cable Carnage list. I think he told me before he was, or while he was practicing. So this is, I think there was one microweb in that list.
I believe so. If this fires, I think we might have a...
Does it really do much though? Like,
no, that's... yeah, like, you can just get one subroutine to fire if you, like, res a extra copy of Fly Swatter. You can just let the two last subroutines fire, right?
And even like, is there an Eisen Archives? Like, I think I would just let everything
Yeah, I'm
fire.
not sure. I mean, you can let everything fire because you are using Euler. Or, like, you can break everything because of Euler. And a cool line here is that we pop SMC into a Devatata drone and then pop the Simul chip to get the Euler and it goes out.
So he's gonna break it. Yeah, okay,
send
then
the
you just
message.
break everything. So message is kind of nice to have stolen, since it puts you forward as well.
Yeah, I feel like Alex might be kind of flooded when you have to like rush this out. So switching one, like, oh, and a free cloud eater.
It's nice.
Yeah, gets broken by revolver, but still 10 credits for an ice is pretty good.
Yeah, I think you're quite, like, even though you don't get like the on-res effect thing, you're still relatively happy that...
Yeah, it's just a pile of stats at the end of the day. Yeah, at the worst. I'm just kind of scared of R&D, especially with 6 credits on the corp side. Like, R&D might be getting attacked next, and Devatata drone like will do nasty stuff in there.
Like, you'll have you should have enough credits to... You could even install the Tatubola again.
I feel like Tatubola is the card that went on top of their R&D. It's still like expensive. We might see something like a harem, like Hush maybe. If you Hush like on R&D, that gets kind of scary.
But if you're expecting Eru, then there should be no more influence. Then there is no more non...
Yeah, if we're expecting Aero, it's tough to call out what the runner deck has because of the light fire and stuff, like other stuff. Light fire might be taking the Aero slot from the deck or something.
I think with drones, the chance, like, I would estimate the chances to be very close to certain. Like, I would be really surprised if there is no Eru in this deck.
Yeah. Also, we go and advance the car on the remote. Seems
That's Charlotte. I'm like,
yeah, it kind of has to be like there's no other options. You're just not pushing out on 5 credits.
yeah.
There are also people in chat calling out that there's 100% an error. I will just I will claim that we cannot know before we know.
But we know, like,
Clicking for draw again. Kind of, I guess I'm expected, like, I remember a lot of these, like, previous shaper lists, which, like, had way more card draw, and could just, like, basically never click for draws. A petty cash in the bin, that is pretty hype, plus 2 credits. And Charlotte in the remote, like we called.
yeah.
Just starting to actually generate the money for Alex here. The issue is you kind of have to build your remote entirely up again. You have to find your La Costa. Third is going on R&D. If we're calling the arrow here, do you think we're overcommitting on R&D and not icing archive actually enough?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Like, are we over icing R&D and not protecting archives if we expect the arrow threat to be there?
I think Alex is, yeah. I think I guess it depends on how much ice there is in hand, but especially given there's only 10 credits. Given there's only 10 credits.
Yeah, 10 credits not super much.
I guess there's going to be a tattoo ball somewhere, so maybe it is fine.
Also installing the Pretty Mary, so yeah. Getting even more R&D access in there at some point. And R&D will be blowing up at some point. The question just is like, can we stabilize before that? Also, Charlotte not being pre-advanced last turn, so kind of a easy call that the card installed there was Ala Costa, so you can like start repeating these. Or like automating your Charlotte triggers. Into a Hansa review. And do we ice Arcas at this point? And kind of leave HQ open as possible?
Yeah, I don't think HQ will ever be iced. Just trashes.
We think we have enough credits.
I think it's very dangerous because, okay, with the upgrade, I guess it becomes a bit more fine.
Yeah, there's world where the runner just plays another pinhole, and at that point it kind of gets sketchy if they call it correctly.
There is no pinhole, like there is no other pinhole. There is arrow.
If you're calling the arrow.
Look, it's there.
Okay, never mind. It's there. So sending the arrow, and we will get, I believe, threat 3. So 1 from arrow, 1 from Pretty, and 2 from drones. So 5 access on R&D.
And if that's a void on R&D, it will also be... Oh, it's Mitra. Okay. Okay, so that made more sense with the going low. No agendas.
No agendas, just trashing a spin and trashing a void. That's so good for the corporation here.
Didn't trash the Mitra either. I guess that's fair.
If you're never going R&D, like actually hardcore R&D, I think this is like fine not to trash it.
Yeah.
It being Mitra also makes sense for you, like you like installing it on server 1 is kind of sketchy. And then just has to clear the tag. Alex gets the La Costa trigger. Probably says unlock in the chat, I would assume.
I think Alex wants to draw upon cards and to make sure that he can fuel the void. The only issue is that, well, I guess he knows there is no agenda on top. Okay, but that's very. Ooh, it does not, and I think that's not what. Like, you definitely want to keep at least one more card in hand because now void doesn't work.
Yeah, if it's the void, this is kind of a sketch line. It might be something else. It might be a managram.
But like the runner will run the remote. Like,
Yeah, that's the issue here. I guess if you expect them not, if they have to use Euler, they kind of go hella broke. If they actually have to break stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it depends. But I mean, I assume there's like a. There have been already 2 simul chips used. Like, I guess I missed.
I think, well,
when
yeah,
this
we installed
was-
second simul chip when we first overclocked the remote and installed Euler and Gauss with it.
Oh, okay, I missed. that.
Yeah, like I
I
feel
don't
like
understand.
there's a Interrun code get somewhere on the table. Kind of has to be for this line to make sense. Otherwise, we can just kind of walk through my coweb.
I think the list was on MICs, right?
I'm not sure, but MIC would totally make sense, especially with my coweb.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I guess I think still for safety you want an extra card instead of the credits, because then it like makes it really safe. Now the runner can do some calculations to see whether it can go through somehow. Like,
Yeah.
if you have no symbol chip, it's kind of difficult. You need like, I guess you at least 5-ish credits, depending on what exactly you want to break.
Yeah, I mean, like, you kind of have to
I
break the
think
cloud.
I
Oh,
think
we're just overclocking in. I think this might be enough.
yeah, this will definitely be enough. This will definitely be enough.
Yeah, especially with
think-
Sure Gamble into overclock.
Let's see how much you say breaks. I think you can let the install from archives fire.
Yeah,
Just expecting
it's not
that-
like a brand where you can install in, like, in the innermost.
And yeah, that's exactly what he does.
Oh, yeah, and let's the install file and the resolve one code get subroutine file.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
it
pretty
saves 2
sick.
credits. So now, Alex, like in this case, if Alex had the extra card, like he would have just been able to trash it.
Yeah, if
or
that
like
is
trash
a
the.
second void.
So it's not a managarm because
Yeah, that we would have rest.
he would have rushed that.
Herm is bouncing on the remote. Gets a free ansel on Arcus. And I'm a virus.
not virus.
Yeah.
I think okay, given that it wasn't a void, I understand why he did that, but you should still have the extra card in hand just to bluff your opponent.
Yeah, you kind of want it to be that it looks like a void, so your opponent has to go pinholing it first.
Yeah. So now you say only need to see one agenda, and since that there's no Sisyphus scored, I think he's very likely to find that one.
Yeah, it's also, I think the runner has like way more time to build the board state up again, because the top of R&D is known, so it, like, don't have to go and attack there like instantly. Icing up archives even more. This does look like an overcommitment. Like, at some point you will draw the agendas, and if server 2 is like completely locked down, you cannot even score them at this point.
I think it's indeed an overcommitment, because what will happen now is just Alex will kind of draw some cards, need to make a decision of like, okay, I found an agenda, where do I put it? I think the best way is probably to start baiting, like advancing something that isn't an agenda, force you say to commit resources to something that isn't an agenda. But it depends a lot on the draw. And so if he doesn't find an agenda and just like kind of sets up the remote without threatening anything, you say will just prepare their boards, get money, make one run, and very likely see an agenda.
I would assume, yeah. A free coalescence, basically a free an extra hedge fund in your deck. And
then also getting the environment testing trigger.
Yeah, R&D is completely known right now, I believe. So we might be. I think we might be setting up.
I think we are through all the cards, right?
Yeah,
I think
100%.
there were 4 or 5 seen and 2 were trashed.
Yeah, we saw 5, trashed 2, so 3 cards. And I think we drew past the lock like last turn.
I'm surprised it's just clicking for credits.
I mean, we do have just 5 cards left in the deck, so at some point you can have to.
Yeah, but I think you want to prepare for, like, you would want to prepare for basically having the last environmental testing be popped on this turn with 1 install, so you can just do that and then run archives with Eru. Because then, yeah, you will definitely get through the idea. And even if you're still looking for the stimul chip, then you kind of want to draw for it and install that, because that's kind of what you want to see.
Yeah.
The install advance is interesting because now the runner has to wonder if it is maybe an agenda, but it's very likely a Charlotte. And then if Yusei was in a position to start running now, that would be much more convenient for him. Ooh, going even slower. That's interesting. I guess he was greeting the environmental testing triggers and basically waiting for the second one. I guess that's overall the safer play, probably. I wonder what the Muse and like, are there still more spec books?
Yeah, just getting like environmental testing triggers, I would assume. We get through 1 and get back second one on 2 counters. Oh, scoring a Sisyphus protocol, just we're pushing right there, like, oh no.
Yeah, that was an interesting push. Unfortunately, like, I think this will spell the end of the game, because it's very likely Yusei just has Simul chip and then we'll just do the Aero run. It's kind of, I think, I mean, it's kind of what I said a few turns ago of how the game will end. But so unless Alex is like very lucky and there is no...
If R&D can hold a second time.
Yeah. There should be only... Was this deck 44 cards? I think it looks like it was. So there should be only 3 more agendas, I think.
So there is still a world where we leave this, but it does look kind of desperate here.
It could also be that there are just agendas in hand and Alex is just bluffing it. No, I guess that's kind of unlikely because it was locked at a certain point. I guess there could be at most 1 or 2.
I think we might have,
still,
like the last card after the lock, we might have drawn that.
I think you do Eru, and if you don't see anything, you start running HQ.
Running HQ, yeah, just like force multiple baxes on HQ. And runner thinking again. All the matches are untimed, so we do have like the space to think about the lines a bit. But I do feel like we just kind of have to go R&D this turn with Aero, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what there really is to calculate. I guess
you might like figure out the ice and like just make sure that you can break it, because if it's like a Boto into a Boto, your Gauss is struggling at that point if we
But-
don't have the simul chip in hand yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he has it, because if he doesn't, he would have been drawing, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel
So
like the
yeah,
simul chip.
I'm also
Go ahead.
I'm also not really expecting Boto in these lists.
I guess Boto not really synergizing with Scissors Protocol, but you cannot play like only sentries and like code gets, I think.
Okay, isn't that what Cable Carnage's deck was? I think this is pretty much exactly Cable's deck.
I
I don't think
mean,
there were Botos in there.
not sure. First click for draw.
That's like, this kind of surprises me. Like, because yeah, I don't know. I would expect that. I would have really expected just install Simulchip, Eru, and run. And the fact that he doesn't do it surprised me a little bit based on how he played before. Oh no, so in Cable Carnage's deck there were actually Botos. Okay. I didn't remember that.
Imagine spreading misinformation on stream. Couldn't be me. So first click draw.
I mean, we don't know if it's I mean, he might have still changed.
Yeah, I know. And still not just installing the simul chip, so we might be seeing a draw again. Like, I don't think you kind of have to go this turn, even though you probably would like to.
I think the reason you would want to is if you miss, you want to run HQ, and if the longer you wait, the more difficult that becomes.
Yeah, if like Alex can find a void and an agenda, we can actually start pushing the remote pretty fast here. Sending a burner HQ.
That's interesting.
And
so this isn't. I guess if you see an agenda, okay, yeah. So what do? Do you? I guess you do put it on top of R&D, right? You can
you run
calculate
there this turn? I think we might put both the cards in R&D and then just take the access on HQ.
Then there's a chance that you miss, because, I mean, the game is more likely than not to be over. I guess it's probably fine, because even if Alex puts it in the remote, if there's nothing to back it up, then is that GG in Chinese?
It might be.
It kind of looks.
Yeah, if we like access some other agenda, then send a message. It's kind of joke.
It's haha.
Oh, accessing a boomy? Send it again on HQ.
Let's go, 1 and 3. Will we see it?
Alex switching back to English. Oh, accessing a Charlotte as well.
Oh, he could have baited it.
Yeah, well, imagine next turn going install advance on the remote, and it's a Charlotte. That would have been so nasty.
Yeah, the only thing is that he then just runs HQ.
I know it.
But okay, so what does Alex do? Because you're kind of.
I feel like the line is like draw your hand up to full, and hope you don't draw an agendas. I feel like.
Well, you know what? So Tattoo Bola and Vampy were. So the next draw is the other one from Tati or Vampo, Tattoo or Vampy.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the top of the deck is Vampy right now. I mean, this is the agenda, so you say is pretty much certain that he can get in.
We might have drawn like a Charlotte off the top.
No, like burner with Bernard, we know exactly.
Oh,
what to
sure.
And I don't think display is what you want to do because there's.
It does look kind of sketchy.
Because I'm pretty sure there's no eyes that. I guess the question is like, has Yusei seen the last symbol chip? And with the fact that, with how he played the last turn, I guess you could call that he doesn't have it yet. So maybe that's.
And Ice and Server 2.
Yeah. Well, but we know that that's the Tatubola, like, or well, we don't know, but like, it's very likely that that is the Tatubola. That's
Yeah, it's just so not going to be enough, I feel like.
Unless there was another ice in each. No, wait, we saw the. Oh yeah,
we saw Boomy in HQ, I think. Which.
But Boomy is a really bad ice.
Yeah, 100%. It's not doesn't do anything here. So it kind of has to be Tatubola. I think the runner just can get in here.
Yeah, it's pretty. I don't think there's anything that really stops. That would stop the runner. I guess Attini would. How much would? Okay, I guess Attini into microweb maybe. Although you can take Attini damage once.
Yeah, I feel like. I guess we're calculating it just to be safe. And like, if you still don't have the symbol chip, getting in here actually is kind of expensive.
Yeah, I think even Attini into microweb would, like, the runner is able to get in.
Also, like, can we call microweb bad at this point? Because, like, I feel like it's any other ice we are in a better position.
But you have to, like, I mean, it is taxing. Like, the only thing is like if there's a symbol chip, then there's like no way that this stops anything. It's still drawing. You say it's still drawing. But like microweb isn't bad. Like it costs the runner quite a bit. Like
doesn't it run? Oh, a second Muse.
I think you reinstall Euler with that.
Yeah, looks like it.
And then you have the environmental testing credits and just
that's basically Jover, I think.
You're in.
Wrong order. Oh, I think we trashed it too late. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Muse install trashing the Euler, and then Muse trigger actually getting the Euler back. So we have installed Euler this turn, activating the first interface ability, and then sending the run. We have one click left, so if this is like a hidden MIC, we still can get in.
Yeah, there is nothing that stops the runner here. No combination of eyes. Oh, I guess Hafrun, but Hafrun is not.
If it's Tur, it doesn't run, or we cannot get in. I mean, like any centric kind of is sketchy here, right? MIC definitely not enough, so we break that for 2 credits.
But for a lot of the sentries, you can just not use all the bullets. But yeah, a code gate definitely doesn't help. So the runner will just take this game. Well played.
Yeah, double access, double encounter on MIC, just spending 2 extra credits. Doesn't really matter. And 3 credits for the microweb, yeah.
And that's the send a message. Triple send a message.
Yeah, that's tough. Like, we installed 3 as an R&D, and the opponent never like ran it. And the Tau ability kind of like coming in clutch, switching out Ansel, Cloud Eater onto the R&D. which you actually never have to run.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting use of indeed the Tau ability, because it meant that the revolver was not a kind of a liability, and you were able to use simul-chip more aggressively. So that was quite interesting. And then it also kind of powers up Euler, because when you re-trigger it, you can save a lot of money breaking ice. So we will see the swap. So I believe Yusei is also playing RH, and Haverfun Alex is playing Magdalene, if I remember correctly. Is that the new game? Or?
Yeah, I think it's the new game in the lobby.
Yeah, Yusei is taking 1 minute break, so we will be waiting in the meantime.
Yeah, I think it's like 12 p.m. for Alex. They're timing our players out.
Midnight, you mean?
Yeah. 12 a.m.
But
I guess.
I never remember what the right way of using AM or PM.
Yeah, me neither. That system sucks ass, for real.
Well, just say midnight or noon or something.
I guess it's past midnight for Alex. Alright, and I think we are ready to jump in.
Yep.
And again, we do see Restoring Humanity. Not sure which kind of one. Against Magdalene. Kind of similar setups. I think Magdalene probably has less like access tricks. Like we might not have stuff like Devatada drones or air in here.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Alex was on like a sort of more stealth-like build. I think with twinning. So I guess we'll see how that plays out.
Oh, stealth winning against the Restoring Humanity is kind of shiesty.
Yeah. It depends a bit on like what exactly the Restoring Humanity does. Going a bit slower with the Ice HU and R&D.
Yeah, the classic 2014.
Yep. Alex drawing up typical Magdalene WC fermenter. Yep.
Oh, this card fermenter is so sick. Yeah.
It was a really good start against
like against like Jindaki Glacier especially, yeah, you just want to like get your stuff up and kind of set up faster than the corp can, and after they start actually doing something, you just pressure them out. Magdalene probably like has to just kind of sit back and install a lot of things. We do have like one extra click if we discard stuff. And discarding a mantle, that's going to be pretty huge.
Mantle, so the stealth rig certainly gets it up. I think the remote ice install means that you're expecting a push. I think you could have possibly like ran HQ last turn, but it's kind of low value, I guess. I think you can. So the double upgrade, like the double server, I would generally expect it all to be like Charlotte plus Lacoste.
Yeah. Do you think you advance at that point instead of like clicking for a credit?
I think you could, yeah. But it could also be something else, like it could be Void plus Humanoid Resource.
Yeah.
Also, for example.
Alex just setting up in the meantime, installing Lilypad and SMC. So next time we can challenge stuff. And it is the Charlotte.
Yeah, I think I think you probably don't advance because you don't want to give away if the runner wants to pinhole your Lacosta.
No, true.
Like you can always just advance the Charlotte right now. Like the chance that you'll click for a credit later on is relatively high anyway. So.
Oh, and icing archives just to stop the pinhole threading.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with an SMC, I don't think it really stops it. But I think, yeah, in this situation, you definitely want to advance the Charlotte instead of clicking for the credit, since it's almost strictly better.
It kind of turns
Not
into
always.
2 credits, I think. And yeah, just install run. We do have the self-modifying code on there, so we can fetch our stealth breakers. There is a world where you can let this first one, like Athene, just fire if you have enough credits in the pool.
I think you let that fire.
Yeah, like depends a lot on what you have in hand. If you have stuff you can lose, like losing 3 cards is totally worth like not having to install the breaker right now.
That's what Alex does. So I guess
Yes,
we'll see whether.
Oh, Chroma Force.
So losing to not. The interesting thing is also you can, on each fire, you can still decide if you pay or not. I do think these are some. I guess you can get some of these back with Simulchip, but they're not like the worst. Like you kind of would have wanted these cards. I think,
there's it's kind of like
no free lunch
either
can
way,
go.
I think.
No free lunch can go because that's kind of
Chromata Force will be pretty good after we get like the after image on table. And Muse just generally is good, I guess.
I guess the value of the Muse also depends on whether you are on Knick-Knack or not. Like what will you do with the remaining Muse? If it's only spec work, maybe it lowers the value. Getting Gauss.
You can mantle the self-modifying code credits. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, because it's a program.
Yeah, getting full utilization out of that.
You definitely should trash the Lacosta here.
Yeah, Lacosta is like a lifeline for a lot of these Jinteki decks. Do you pop Simulchip to get the Fermenter back this turn? It is a decent chunk of your economy, I feel like. Decides not to, I guess we are saving it for like SMC lines.
Well, the thing is that your Simulchip is also just valuable in general with your Gauss and getting back Muse or Chromatophores. Again, it depends a little bit on like whether you have Knick-Knack or not. I mean, I can definitely, like if you, for example, had another Simulchip in hand, I think you can definitely Simulchip the Fermenter. You could even Muse and then put the Fermenter on there. But it depends on what your ideas of what you're going to do with the Muse. So we see another like double install. If this is another Lacosta and Charlotte, like UC has like a really it might be an agenda, Lacosta and an agenda.
Does look like it, yeah. Advancement going on there. Decided to click for credits. I guess you can kind of slow cook it.
Yeah, I do think. There's definitely possibilities for just running that. So if there is like gamble, you can credit gamble.
Credit gamble run. And you just eat that in subs again?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Athene just not DNA tracker, as it turns out. Getting a Muse down? For a... What are you using for? I guess a card from the deck?
You could Muse the SMC.
That is true. At that point,
you also,
will be kind of poor after the run, though.
If there's an Euler, you can also muse the Euler.
Oh, I'm using the coalescence.
It's
+2 credits, and
well +3 because of TCMZ, but
true.
then you like really need a plan of what to do with these leftover programs, because if you're just gonna trash this, it's kind of okay. So
knick-knack, yeah, and then we can just run like a central server, I would assume. And I think that's really annoying to res.
You can also run the remote.
Can you?
I think so.
I feel like we would have a tough time actually getting in there, though.
It depends a bit. I don't know, like...
Click for a credit run, that's interesting. Selling a coalescence. Letting all the tin subs fire.
Yeah, so you have to take the damage here.
Yeah. Harmony air therapy. Really slow
Creative.
card to creative. And that's winning, that
winning.
sucks.
Okay, if that was the hand, I don't think you should have taken the damage, but okay.
You could sometimes just kind of have to. A Bran on there. Gauss will be stretched in the least, at least here.
Yeah, you... So... Gauss will cost you 5, which gives you exactly enough to still trash La Costa.
Yeah, 5 if you specifically like simul-chip the Gauss out, which I don't think we can do after trashing the coalescence red.
Oh, that's right.
So you just have to break it normally. And that's at that point you have to boost it 6. It's 9 credits to break it that way. So it would be all of your credits.
So then you basically need to bring back coalescence.
Kinda.
I guess
it depends on like what is on the remote. Like if you want to trash the La Costa, yes, but like you can just spend all your money, steal the agenda, and be safe that way. But it loses to a lot of the lines here.
Wait, but no...
Simon-chip Muse?
Oh, to reinstall Gauss. I don't think... you should have... I think you need to trash the... You need to get back the coalescence. Because now you don't have enough to trash La Costa. It's just... Well... Yeah.
Cinemas is still important. So we saved kind of 2 credits in this position by using a simul-chip.
People are also calling for propeller, but I'm pretty sure... I mean, if there is a propeller in the deck, it would have been fetched right now, I'm pretty sure. So I think it's kind of safe to say that there is no propeller.
I feel like that might have been overextending the simul-chip there.
You mean overextend the simul-chip?
Like,
I think the simul-chip is fine. You just needed...
You spent your simul-chip to get 2 credits, kinda, right?
Well, yeah, you should have used it for coalescence, so you can trash the...
And that would have been like 4 credits. Running R&D gets a free knick-knack counter, or knick-knack trigger.
I think you should have actually ran archives to reset the trashed card.
I think there was... It's like assumption that archives is Tatubola that we saw at some point.
Okay, but then you can...
Run archives, run R&D or something, yeah.
But Alex is valuing the R&D access.
Discard after image comes down. The best sentry breaker in the game, kinda. If you forget about the stealth requirements.
I mean, it is the best sentry in the game, but like, yeah, you just need to support it a little bit.
I mean, a little bit, yeah. You have to include like 5 bad cards.
Yusei has like all the stuff to put in the remote. Like if there was no La Costa anymore, would have gone quite a bit slower. But I think You say we'll be able to he will be able to rebuild boards very quickly from this point. So I guess the question is like, are there 2 twinnings in Alex's deck, or will he have to rely on locking the remotes?
There's 2 twinning. And now we can maybe kind of just like, you can use Mantle to like charge after image on your opponent's turn. Specifically saving 1 counter of it, yeah. Accessing Tatubola Atini. So Pella Ice in there. And next turn we can, on the opponent turn, we can charge twinning using the Mantle with just boosting after image strength. So we get a free counter. Discard Muse. Probably to get the Coalescence.
Yeah, I assume so.
Yeah, just kind of free credits. And Charlotte just piling up credits. You do have to start icing up R&D and HQ a bit more. I would assume ice comes down this turn.
I don't think you need HQ ice at all. So this is probably an agenda on server 1.
Yeah, we're definitely just like jamming in here. The scary situation is if Alex can just go R&D, just like start locking it down. Icing HQ.
So there is an HQ ice.
Maybe does signal that there could be a second ice on HQ or an extra agenda in HQ.
I mean, I think even if you have 1 agenda in HQ, you still wouldn't ice it, because now this, like, if there is an agenda, it just kind of screams, "Hello, there is an agenda here," because normally you wouldn't do this. So this is
yeah, that
this
is
gives
true.
information that you don't really want, unless it's like kind of a bluff of like
I think
making the runner think there is one when there isn't one in the first place.
I would kind of assume we're just alright trying to win the game of R&D right now. If, like, you can just kind of lock it down, I feel like.
Yeah, I think you indeed want to get into a position where you kind of C3 from R&D each time it's. I think we will see that with the Simulchip.
Yeah, Simulchip can secure us the breaker access. Knickknacking the Simulchip out. Boto? Oh, that's
so
on
I guess we
at
will
least
see the
threat
Gauss.
4, so could see the Gauss getting installed. Yeah, Simulchip Gauss. Break for 3. You save 1 mental credit, I would assume.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, also drawing with Lillipad, so we end actually on 6 cards, so we can also get the Magdalene trigger this turn. And 3 accesses. Oh, proper negation. Just wins the game on 10 accesses, goddamn. Yo.
Well, 10 access, but he was locking R&D. So like,
yeah, like the situation is tough for the corporation anyway at this point. Yeah. Like you can score 1 agenda, but R&D will be locked for like a long time.
Interesting. Okay.
There's all Adrian proper negation. Does make sense. Oh, the hand is Unholy Void, Fuji. Yeah, that's tough.
So there are actually 2 agendas in there. So, okay, because, yeah, that kind of surprises me. I think with the HQ ice, I think you definitely want to consider running HQ at least at some point, and this is not going to stop the runner. So it kind of gives the runner a bit too much information.
Yeah,
so,
kind of.
Interesting. Would have been interesting to see how it went on with the Proprio score.
Yeah, proper negation would have been like really interesting. But the matchup is kind of just tough, I feel like.
Yeah, twinning plus stealth kind of. I do think the fact that there was no propeller probably also means there's no rising tide. So I do think the barriers would have would have been taxing once all the symbol chips are gone. But by that point, Alex might have already just seen too much cards.
Yeah. So situation 1-1 after the first double-sided Swiss round, and we are just halfway in the evening, and we'll get one more match coming in, and I think the players were, it's going to be Prof Wako against Suez.
Yeah.
So
Or Shiification.
yeah, either or. There's like two names on the list, so.
Well, they're playing under Shiification.
Okay, on Janet, sure. And the matchups that we will see is going to be Nuvem against Toshiko and Sable into Leo.
I think both interesting matchups. Nuvem can be some different things. I'm assuming we're gonna be seeing something similar to Threats list, or something similar to, like, I guess the early Elevation, like Nuvem lists. And Hoshiko, I guess we'll have to see. It's 45 cards, which already tells us that we are more likely to see a more reg list.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be interesting to see what kind of Hoshiko list this is going to be. Like, I think we, at least in tiebreakers, are super up on like Doll's Hoshiko. But if you can like choose your list going in, you're maybe not taking it against Nuvem.
I think it's fine against Nuvem.
It could be.
Depends a bit on whether you want to be on Hush or Numb. Hush is nice against like Logjam.
Yeah, both are playable. Hush, can you have to pre-install if you don't want to lose?
Well, I mean, like having a Hammer Fire isn't the end of the world. But you would prefer not to have it fire, of course. But, so playing Petty Cash, trashing the top of R&D, icing HQ. It's interesting that there's no like no rush on the remote. Choosing this two centrals up. Wildcat Strike, that's interesting. Giving the draw. So okay, this is actually an interesting because generally people are saying like, oh, you have to give the money, and I don't think that's correct.
Yeah,
in a lot of cases.
I feel like that is a thing from before, like the older state of the metagame, where Hoshikos had stuff like moshing, and could really utilize these like huge hand sizes into getting bunch of credits out of like a small econ start. But right now, like Hoshiko, if they have like 1 credit and 9 cards in hand, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think giving the card draw in this, like if it was gamble into Wildcat Strike, it's more interesting. I think playing Wildcat Strike as your first click of the game is too ambitious. I think you want to set up stuff a bit more.
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe maybe the hand was also not great on their side, and then the draw is still fine. Because they discarded Twinning and Keiko, which kind of tells me that they maybe had duplicates in hand, like Twinning is a real card.
They also did start with a mulligan, so like could be just a tough hand. And
discarding the Twinning, if they are on dolls, could be a very risky thing. If they do end up running the hammer and if they're only on 2 Twinning, then losing that last Twinning could be a lot make the game.
Yeah, I think it depends on if we have like the normal 2 Twinning, or sometimes people do run like 3. Installing an Abasi?
Abasi, okay. Just the right thing for the descent.
I mean, yeah, that exactly works out. Credit perfect, getting in the remote.
Well, we see the ability here. I wonder what's in there. Is it just trashing botulus?
I actually have to read what Abasi does here.
You can trash a card from your rip to draw one.
So we didn't use that one. Steals are off the books, which is pretty hype. And there's Spin Doctor and Hedge Fund.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you want to see some extra eyes. I think preparing for like drawing more next turn. And then installing something there. Installing...
A man? Yo, we're cooking.
I'm expecting Provaco to draw here and then put something in the remote. I wonder, what the breaker suite is going to be from Hoshiko. Like, Mantle indicates to me that there's probably... Wait, was there was a world list with... that had Stealth
like
Hoshiko.
Stealth Hoshiko, yeah, but they didn't have Abasi in there.
No, they were on Bussa.
Yeah, every piece of ice I see Abasi. That's true. The flavor text is kind of good.
Yeah, the Stealth Hosh had... It also didn't have a Wildcat Strike.
Oh,
It could be something... Maybe the side hustles were replaced or something.
Yeah, could be. Sending Archives? Trying to just get the Spin Doctor popped? Doesn't seem like it. Also,
I
just
wonder why the petty caches... I guess the petty caches haven't been fired because Provaco had an operation.
Yeah, I think we just have had operations in HQ, and you'd rather play those. Again, predictive. You can just save your petty caches, I assume.
Yeah, you don't need them. Oh, install advanced. That's interesting.
And the remote is kind of cooked. We do see that's maybe a tough call.
Choice. Yeah, you have the choice of letting the corp have this or attempting to break the remote with Rising Tide.
Yeah, like sketch upon seeing two options kinda. It's either Paladin Poemu for like an extra 2 credits when installed from here, or the Rising Tide, which would come down on 1 credit only. Or like 1 strength only, I mean. And I don't think that's enough to challenge the remote, to be fair.
I think it really depends on what's there, right? Like, I don't know.
Like Logjam is enough. Logjam is really annoying. 3-line is really annoying. There's 2 eyes in there at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be kind of like a bluff, kind of, right? Like, it could be Fly Swatter into something. But I think it's indeed more likely that there is probably at least 1 3-line or Logjam or something like that. There could also be a Stefka, and then that would actually be quite devastating, because then you lose both your Rising Tide and your Abasi.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think my expectation would be that the runner goes for the Paladin install to set up. And
you just cannot challenge the remote this turn, I think.
And I think so now you have, like, the obvious thing is to remove 1 Keiko, but then the question is, do you choose to remove a gamble, a pinhole?
I feel like this is a matchup where you kind of just need the raw credits.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. So decides not to...
Deciding to did sure gamble. It is still fair. Like, even as like in the worst case, it's still like a exposed card that you can like go and check the remote with. And
yeah, but the things that you care about are the agendas, and you still need to actually run the remote for that. Like, pinhole is nice when you can trash a void with it because it net saves you money. But in this case, it just gives you a little bit of information, and then you still need the money to actually get into the.
I mean, there is still like ant hills and.
Yeah, but anthill is fine. Like, you don't care about those. Like...
Or revolver.
There's
just installing revolver and sending it.
Just calling that there's no barrier. I think that's quite unlikely, but I guess we'll see what happens.
I mean, like,
here.
The barriers don't do anything on face check.
Yeah, so it's fine. Like there is no worst case scenarios ice-wise, but the worst case scenario is that there's a seamless in hand and this is a basalt spire, which I think is quite likely. I think the run is fine because you do want to force the corp to kind of reveal where the barrier is. I think we have some disconnection issues.
Yeah, might be like a bit of lag or
So
something.
Hopefully that will get resolved soon. It's also interesting that there is a revolver in the list, and so because that means that after image is maybe not in the list, which makes the mental a bit more confusing, but I guess mental is still nice for twinning, to charge up twinning counters. But like having the mental, but then choosing not to play after images, I find a bit...
Yeah.
Yeah, that surprises me.
No rest on the first one?
Yeah, I think that means that the second one is going to be a barrier.
Yeah, it does feel like... I mean, if you have like a center you can dress, you still like dress it for spending the counters, right? Of the revolver.
Well, but if the outermost, for example, is also a Maskirovka, I think you rest the inner one.
Yeah, if both are barriers. Oh, Botul's in and running again.
So let's see if it was a double barrier. Yeah. So,
yeah, logjam.
So I think that makes... So I guess... Okay, this is actually very interesting because you would have preferred to install the modules on the tree line. So I think the not revealing the tree line first makes sense.
Yeah, also just
face checking. No, sorry, this is logjam. This is not tree line.
Yeah.
I thought it was tree.
I mean, face checking, like resing the Maskirovka first is really kind of better when it just gets you 1 credit or costs you 1 credit.
Yeah, like logjam, you want to delay. You don't want to have them see where the logjam is. So just overall resing. It's also because having outermost ice unrest is also very slightly better compared to innermost ice. So even if it was double Maskirovka, I think you choose to rest the innermost one. But so we're advancing and scoring off the books.
Times.
Okay, so this is very interesting because I'm thinking this counter will get used. But the question is, what do you get?
I feel like you just get the second agenda. Yeah, above the law, going straight in there. Just keep jamming.
Yeah, above the law is like, there is no twinning yet. So, but I guess Thrashing Paladin is still quite decent.
Thrashing Paladin, especially while Keiko is on table, is like out of credits.
Yeah, but like a lot of cards are already installed. But yeah, I think it's a fine choice. It probably makes sense because you're not even sure if you're going to see the above the law if you don't fetch it right here. So just fetching it and making sure you get the effect seems fine. And then Thrashing the Paladin is just a nice bonus.
Yeah.
Because you definitely would have preferred to thrash like the twinning, which is probably the last twinning, and then that makes the game quite a bit more difficult.
Yeah, like if twinning gets thrashed somehow, the game is kind of just over. It at least feels like.
Yeah, someone calling the off the books loop, which is also a choice. You could have fetched the off the books, and then if you have a seamless,
yeah, I think we definitely. I think we need the seamless in hand for that to make sense.
Yeah, so I think this probably means there is no seamless in hand. You could have chosen to wait like more turns and like over advance the off the books with like maybe 2 counters, and then basically force the runner to be like, you need to interact, you need to find your things and interact with me, or I will just win in like 2-ish turns.
Yeah, interestingly also going after the Spin Doctor here instead of attacking Archives, because now we have to spend 2 credits if we want to clear this, and that probably does mean there's no agendas there.
Yeah.
But we do get the flip that we were probably after, and install the Lizard for a free credit of the cake.
Okay, so now you have the choice between... Well, I guess you have the choice between advancing it and delaying it. between just scoring it, and then you have the choice of which companion you trash. I think I would go for Mystic.
Mystic at this point, when your opponent already has like a lot of their stuff installed already, we have like the breakers we have stuff installed, so Brat is like less valuable, and we have just played like one copy of Wildcat Strike, so still
I'm surprised actually that Shiification chose to install Mystic, because
it was still like you want to get one companion down a turn, kinda, if you didn't have anything else to use your Paladin crate on, because it still saves the Paladin.
I guess, yeah, it's difficult to say, because the one credit could also be worth, like, not worth it if you save
Raindrops going HQ.
This might be no rest, so I think this says that there's just no agendas in hand. Antwell would have been nice to put in the remote, I guess, but
yeah, you're not like super mad about that going. You would just like to have it still.
So we are on like, I guess this maybe also tells us that there is no measured in hand. Because I think if there were measured in hand, I think we would have seen the rest. I guess it depends a bit on what the ice is exactly.
Yeah, like just tracing ice on a central run is really tough with raindrops. Oh, and twinning comes down. Also, a simul chip comes down.
It's interesting. Okay.
So
let's see what the ice on R&D is.
Yeah, we still don't have an access to a straight barrier breaker, but we can cycle the Botulus on there if we like have a tree line on R&D.
It's a just descent.
That is a interesting res. Like it. Opposite trashing a steel skin. Damn. Damn. Access 2.
No agendas. The Mando credit was used, so you cannot use it to... The thing is, Abasi is actually not that great with Mantle, because you cannot use it for off-turn, free off-turn twin encounters.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sick. And if there's like double measure response, I feel like
I don't think there is. I think the call is that there is no double measured, because I think we would have seen the HQ.
Yeah, like trashing the steel skin with Abasi, like let you actually leave the 1x measure response. And yeah, like deciding to trash like, yeah.
The fact that they didn't save the steel skin. Like the steel skin can save you from measured response, potentially.
Yeah, like 1x steel skin's just not enough.
But the runner also kind of like needs more, like with only 2 credits and just the mental. Like the runner still needs to find a bit more events to fully get online. Also needs to find rising time. Surprised we don't see a draw here first.
If it's going to be like draw last click, everybody will need to like send messages about this.
Okay, it's there isn't. Okay, there is a double install. Then the no draw makes sense.
Okay, double install the remote. What upgrades do we actually have? Like Angeliques or something? I guess Tucanas?
There could be Angelique, Mavirus, Tucana, Malapert. There's usually like a one-off of some of these things. So it's often a bit difficult to really tell what exactly.
Yeah, that is true.
I think the runner kind of needs to see how they can like keep up with installs that the Nuvem will do while at the same time building up their economy, because currently they don't really have a good economy set up.
Yeah, if it's like what runner needs to do is just have more credits.
Well, and also find rising tides, because
Yeah.
otherwise they're not going to get in.
Yeah, 100%.
Into
Thinking about something.
I think that the no-res on HQ was quite interesting, because it's still not really clear what my suspicion is that it is a barrier that Provo Echo just didn't want to res.
Yeah, if you didn't have agendas at that point in hand, pressing that into Rising Render of Cut Stone just is a tough call to make.
And if it was like a fly swatter, for example, I think it makes sense that you don't res it, just because the information is worth way more. And also, like Abasi can, when it breaks, it can like cycle the hand. You could even consider like something that Provaco didn't consider is like trashing the descent, or like pulling descents back to hand and then putting ice on different places to create more uncertainty.
Yeah, I feel like specifically right now you probably want descents back in hand just because Abasi exists. It like doesn't kind of do anything.
The credits to force the runner to pay credit when they run such low amounts kind of makes still somewhat valuable, but I think creating more hidden information is also worth a lot.
Yeah.
Jai says the world's list had one skunk, so yeah, that's also indeed a possibility that this is a skunk works. We do know that, like, so Shiification chose to shuffle back one pinhole with Gachapon.
Yeah, it doesn't really have the credits to use the pinhole right now, though. I feel like
No,
we
I don't.
would
I mean, I
rather have the
don't think
gamble.
I don't think it makes sense to pinhole in this position.
Yeah.
But chooses to just play Strike Fund
Okay.
and Steel Skin.
Just playing them raw. Into Raindrops R&D.
R&D.
Again, if this is a barrier, you have like a tough time resing this, I feel like.
This is also quite risky on the runners end because they don't have enough to, like, well, I guess they technically have enough to break Stavka. If they simul-chip the mantle, which they kind of would have to do. I guess.
Yeah, that's a line for sure.
Well, I mean, if you encounter Stavka with extra strength, you will have to do that, because otherwise you...
Yeah, you just lose everything.
Well, I mean, you have the simul-chip to bring one of the things back, but...
There's also like you can like let one fire simul-chip Botulus on like R&D or on top of it.
The issue is the boosting the strength of Revolver.
Yeah, but like if you simul-chip the Botulus on top of it, you can break one and let one fire. Oh, it is a Stavka! And are we trashing?
I mean, you have to trash.
Yeah.
There is nowhere else where you don't trash. Like this forces so much out of the runner. I mean, it is possible that there are just two agendas on top and the game is over, technically, but I love you, simul-chip.
I mean, simul-chip's kind of not helping at this point, though.
Oh, it just lets it fire. Wait, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, if we are just simul-chipping back, like, we can still...
No, you trash the mantle and the Abasi, and then they can only choose to...
No, they still have 2 credits, right?
Sorry?
They still have 2 credits, so they can, like, simul-chip the Abasi back.
Yeah, but then they don't get a twinning counter.
Don't they?
No, because the mantle is gone. If you trash mantle and Abasi...
Oh, that's true.
I think if the winning thing is in the remote. Oh, that's exactly what
Yeah, Stavka Abasi has to reinstall the Abasi. Cannot use Paladin Poemo counters, really importantly. And breaking descent. Trashing a steel skin scarring out of hand.
Yeah, so I think the chat is also calling it out, and I think just reinstalling the mantle and breaking with revolver is pretty much. It's not strictly better, but it's just a lot better than.
Yeah, that is a
they
tough
ended
line
up
to
in.
see, though. To be fair. You also do get a bunch of nice extra draw with raindrops from this.
Yeah, but I feel like the hit from losing the mantle is gonna.
You can also like do the exact same line, but like boost the Abasi strength during the encounter with Stavka, right? From the mantle.
Yeah, but that costs you a credit. I think from what I see, I think the better line is just reinstall, like breaking with revolver, reinstalling the mantle.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could have like trashing a lot of like Eye for an Eye, Abasi, Nuka, and Fermenter. Those are quite good cards. Okay, but the win is not in the remote. There's
No,
just
just
an
the
anthill.
anthill. And this is why we kept the pinhole threading. And just drawing up. And the runner still hasn't found the.
Oh, Kevin is calling that you could counter the mantle reinstall by trashing the Maskirovka with Botulis on it, because then they cannot reinstall the summon.
Oh, that's kind of cute, yeah.
Because yeah, like
just drawing up. Does find the Brushing Tide, and if it just starts going R&D, this might be kind of scary here. It is 2 to break on R&D, 3 credits to get in on R&D. With 4 credits, that is kind of scary. We cannot trash any measured responses that we have to happen to find on R&D also. But you just have to take this access here.
Yeah, as a runner you have to. It's very risky against measured response.
Pitching a strike fund? This Abasi card kinda sick. Oh, stealing Basalt Spire?
Is there a measured response in archives?
I don't think so.
There's some face down, so. But this is a big steal because next turn.
I feel like you just get like predictive planogram and draw.
Okay.
Lash and burn also, damn!
Just seize the 7 points.
Oh,
because the unseen. Picking the unseen really makes me think that there was a measured in there.
Just through the second measure response. No, damn. And the opponent still had a gamble. Yeah, like, okay, Abasi kind of paid off.
Well, because there was only descent.
Yeah, I mean exactly, but still.
You only face descent and you're happy with Yeah, I guess indeed the other choice we did just trash Abasi and Revolver, and then this run cannot really happen.
Yeah.
Second run, which is maybe, I guess, long term is maybe the better play.
Yeah, if you don't have like the win that turn, I feel like you probably do that just to make your opponent like have more stuff.
A double measured was in hand. So close game. I think there were some choices that could have been made to move the game in slightly different direction, but
yeah,
just the runner found enough agendas and few enough access.
Yeah, we can't really complain after Alex just like access 10 cards also.
Logjam. I wonder what recent things were drawn, because there is also a logjam and a hammer in hand. I think if the logjam was already in hand, I wonder why it wasn't installed on R&D.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think the other side that we are going to have is Sable against Leo. And a matchup we did see a bunch of worlds.
Yeah, I think generally we're expecting Sable to be favored. Something that I also... So I was in London on Friday with people from the Wage Workers Clique. And they were telling that if they have transfer against Leo turn 1 and there is ice on... Well, if it's ice, they still just click 1 transfer always, which is quite interesting.
I mean, yeah, that does make sense to me. You just like... You force out the boom if it's something else, like it's Jover for them.
Well, that's the thing that I'm not entirely sure about. Is because transfer is also a nice card late game to steal credits and like after you force them to res ice.
Sure.
Because if you just roll the HQ access, you can also just run HQ instead of immediately playing the transfer. I do understand like the reasoning of like forcing the corp. Like there's pretty much no ice. That the worst face check is MIC. And you could consider doing it last click instead of first click. Although last click is kind of... You probably don't do that because of drafter. Maybe second to last click or something.
Oh, Hansa Petty Cash, turn 1 is pretty good.
Oh, right. I was
not in the game.
Looking in... Yeah, I was waiting in the casual lobby.
Yeah, the classic. Open market class act. Also a pretty sick opening from Prof Wacko. Like, yeah, just hella crack Icon cards and draw turn 1.
Okay, so it's a hand save version. I think that's slightly... I guess... I would say slightly less favored, but I guess that's one... If you get in a position where you are in R&D locked, like having Hansei and Gamble, it's quite nice. As like an opening...
Yeah.
Total.
Or Leech?
Just Boomerang on Boomy.
Okay, Boomerang makes sense. The Chinese
Are the
commentary
commentators...
Yeah, the Chinese commentary team saying something. I don't know what though. Do you have
domestic players, please do not spectate. Move to the live stream room.
Okay.
But
Makes
we
sense.
are the streamers.
Yeah. I think that was somebody else who joined. Overinstalling the boom, just not... That's interesting to me. Oh, we trashed the boom, never mind. Yeah. Also gets the boomerang out of the... Like, out of circulation, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I generally prefer to have like ice, and especially Boomy is quite valuable. So I don't think I would have done that, but I can understand some of the reasoning of like.
You want it out of the circulation. You don't want the opponent to get a leech counter. Also playing RLC in Leo.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe this is like a Leo list that's more trying to set up fast with RLC and humanoid resources or something.
Yeah. Managing to set up the remote is pretty good for them though. Do you think you can just run the remote here? If it's like a buy rate, you just click through.
Yeah, that's also always the difficulty. Is like if it's a buy rate, you can click through, but if it's MIC, then you lose all your.
Yeah, MIC definitely is like a card that fits into. Oh, Pinho's running first, and And which card are we designed to hit?
The merge, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't think there will be a remote run.
No, I think you just take care of this while you can. And
Yeah.
before there's like an archive ice that makes your life more annoying. Trash that, install Nuka. And Pelika seems slow.
For send a message, Racing Brand.
Okay, that's the fastest turn I have ever seen. How fast did we click those buttons there?
It's the StarCraft APM.
So double seamless into advance makes sense.
If you're fast enough with play, that's how you play double seamless. Like you just play it and instantly catch it back to your hand.
Your opponent doesn't realize. Boomer HQ? Do you think there's transfer of wealth?
Probably
transfer of wealth, yeah.
So let's see if this is a. It is
a Brando.
And
there is a Boomy in archives. 2 end runs. Let's the runner install a card.
I think you check out. Well, I think you probably should have just. Oh no, there's no. Yeah, I think you should have broken the first two. If this is the result that you will do, then it's just better.
Yeah, it's very tough at that point. And here, there is a world where you like do the same thing again, where you just run the remote. This time you can kind of let the install fire, I think.
I don't think you run the remote.
No.
I think last time the Hermes install was a bit greedy.
Yeah, it's definitely like we will like win on centrals. Getting Carmen down. Or bravadoing. R&D. MIC is pretty good to see at this point.
What do you mean good to see?
Like not it was the second to last click, so it's fine. And you're like, no, it's there.
Yeah, it's on the runner side you're okay with seeing that.
Yeah, runner side. Team resources? Going down to 1 credit, so there is a world where you don't have like an extra petty cash to play?
No, you will end at 4 credits.
Yeah, but like...
So you can play petty cash?
You can, but like if you don't have it in hand? I guess you do. And decided to ice R&D instead of server 1, where you put a card in.
I think that's fine. Like, if the runner decide, like, the chances that this is an agenda is quite unlikely. And the runner also still needs to decide to spend 3 clicks. But I mean, I think the fact that this happens also just tells me that there is just not going to be an agenda there. It's going to be Tranquility or maybe Managarm, for example.
Yeah, Managarm would be really annoying. Tranquility feels a bit better to take care or take out, like when your opponent is on 5 credits.
You're okay to trash, like you'd be okay with trashing that beat. You spend like 4 clicks and 4 credits.
Yeah, it's a lot of resources for sure.
So I think you'd rather set up, try to find chess one pinhole.
Yeah, you can like let it fire once or something. Drawing up. Take your free archives run for the leech. Does make sense.
Markets. Do we see second class act? Thinking about the last install, which makes me think there is no like obvious money card in the hand. Chess was overall nice, of course. So it is Tranquility. Uses it once. Let's see if there is a pinhole in Provaco's hand.
Are you pinholing the Tranquility or the card installed there?
Yeah. Actually, Maybe you do want to actually. Maybe you don't care about the ranks anymore, and you want to save them for Void, for example.
Yeah, it does kind of make sense. A spin doctor, rest on server 1. I feel like we're just drawing for the agendas at this point, kinda.
Yeah, I think you do want like another ice. And
Yeah.
maybe avoid. But I think if you find an agenda, okay, actually, not shuffling back is.
Yeah, there's like a line here where you could, instead of just installing it, you like trash the spin doctor first, just to like fake your opponent out on this being an asset that they have to like deal with.
Well, or an agenda.
Yeah,
because I think
like
I would have liked the shuffle. Just running archives for the free.
I guess there might have been an agenda in here that we needed to discard.
But you definitely can consider just installing.
Yeah, I can for sure, but like it's still stuff.
So late paladin, but there's still some breakers to install.
Yeah, paladin definitely fine at this point still.
Choosing to draw a card. Wait, okay, Mercia for an ice.
And can we now get into R&D? Installing Unity? And we do have a bunch of leech counters already.
Yeah.
Pressing a drafter? Definitely pretty good with leech on table. So this is broken for 2. And I would assume you use the leech counters to break the MIC here.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Or you maybe use 1 leech counter, 1 and boost unit by 1. Yeah.
You could have also run this last click, but I guess you do want to do the Hermes bounce.
Oh, raising a humanoid. Next is 3. Trashing a humanoid resources. Thinking about the second card, nothing. And nothing on the last one either.
Given how the core played, I think it's quite likely that...
a pinhole threatening to kill the human resources is pretty sick. Do you mind?
Yeah, so valuing the getting out of the lock compared to what is possibly like a Void or Managarm.
Yeah, I feel like your game plan at this point is just to like win with deep twinning digs on R&D and kind of.
I think I personally would have chosen to trash one of the other upgrades to basically still threaten being able to get into the remote, because now the corp feels a lot safer.
Yeah, install.
I wonder. Wait, that's interesting, because the read was that there were no agendas in hand and that the corp would have felt safe. I guess the corp still wanted to set up a Mercia and be even safer. But now with the fact that Pinhole was used on one of the other upgrades makes the corp feel really safe. Like Provaco still needs to find Kurupira.
Yeah.
If there is also a Void or Managarm.
You can see 2 cards on top of R&D. And...
But you should still know the top one, right?
Yeah, but you can get 1 more counter on the twinning and say 2, like unknown ones. And
yeah, but
if
you
one
just,
of those is an
wait
agenda. Yeah, but you can like bounce
it.
the Hermes bounce at that point, but kind of sketchy at that point.
Yeah, I guess maybe you do need to take that. Do need to take those chances. Like bouncing the agenda here would be really good. Oh, this can just be the game if there's another vulnerability on it somewhere. I think it's quite unlikely that there were 2 agendas in hand, but technically possible.
Yeah, installing just card back in there is tough. I do think we have enough credits to challenge the remote. Also, we have enough to get in server 1. Or R&D, I mean.
Moving so Mercia, that's...
Okay, moving Mercia kind of signals that that's not an agenda, but...
Yeah.
Or Kurupira.
And moving it to HQ is also very surprising, because either the agenda was in hand and it kind of stays
Mm.
in server 1 and you put it there, or you
I
move
feel
it
like
to
if you have an
R&D
agenda,
to-
you cannot just have to put it in server 1 though. We did bounce
Yeah,
an
so-
upgrade of server 1, so like...
So why, like, I don't, the moving to HQ is strange.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, Yeah, like bouncing the face down maybe is a mistake, or like the upgrade on the R&D server 1, because it lets your opponent get more hidden information onto the table by like installing a different card, and it also gives them a tranquility trigger to get credits with.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
So I feel like you kind of have to go to R&D at this point. Yeah. And we will see what's up in there. It's just 3 credits. 3 or 4 credits to get in here. You technically could go last click if you don't believe this to be the winning card in server 1.
Yeah, okay, that's... But, I mean, I think the MIC is broken for a little, and... okay, I guess you can indeed do it.
It's 3 versus 2 credits, not a huge deal. Access 1?
Oh, it's
Nothing?
saving 2 credits.
Nothing? Still nothing. 6 accesses? And at this point, you kind of have to be afraid of the agenda being in HQ. Drawing up. And RNG just holding this game and after leaking twice in a row last time. Installing server 1, advance, and I believe we probably switch the Mercia back. No, deciding keeping on HQ.
I guess there's just a second one, although there.
I would assume so, yeah. But,
Or it's just Managarn plus Void.
Yeah, Managan Void, totally enough. You can
Does
attack
mean
HQ first,
that doesn't make
decides
sense. I
not
think.
to run. I don't think you have enough credits to get into server 1 though. Pinhole trailing? If you can hit like the void.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Oh,
say, like, I
second
think
Mercia.
you did the last installed one. The thing though is that even if server 1 is a...
I fly sweater, oh no, ew.
But so the other upgrade, it's either Void or Managarm and both. Or maybe the third merge, although...
No, it's a void. Yeah, that's... I believe GG is right there.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cannot anymore go into R&D. Yeah, just can't go anywhere. The fly swatter saving the game right there.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah, that's what... 2 Sam in
Oh,
hand.
we should... This... So chose to...
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, 2 Sam send a message in hand. Also, like, a lot of other agendas, so we're kind of flooding up. I think there's 2 agendas in R&D. So, like, the multi-access there kind of not turning out to be anything.
This game could have went very differently if Provaco had saved the click with the Hermes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because if there were so many agendas in hand, there probably would have been a steal. And then the corp has to kind of go slower again, more slower than they went. Then maybe Provaca would have had a bit more accesses.
Yeah. That was the first week, ending up 1 tiebreaker and 3 for the Chinese network community. A tough loss here today, but I think we can claw it back up. We have some amazing players still left in the bench.
Indeed. So is the next one next week? Or
Yeah, so for people that want to be watching them next week, there will be the stream happening exactly the same time next week. I believe we will have Alpi versus Captain One, and I think somebody else. I think Augustus.
Okay, cool.
No, I think it's Alpi and Ice Cream College next week. So some ESA gameplay and the famed Mirror Morph and Bass.
Versus Saya and Up.
Yeah, definitely going to be sick matches.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say before we cut the feed?
Well, I guess thanks to you, Aksu, and Wenjong for setting this up. I think it's very interesting. So I'm very excited to also see the other games in the next weeks. I also stream on Tuesdays on my channel, twitch.tv/Ruben Peters. And thanks for all the players participating.
Yeah. 100% go check out Ruben's channel, like one of the best players in the game right now, and so you will definitely get like huge level ups if you go and watch. With that, I think we can leave it for next week, and people should check out the King's Court that's coming on Tuesday. We have a pretty good French player on the podcast coming up.